Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. October always brings with it fabulous box sets. This month, this year, is no exception. Because we've got not only Doom Coalition, but more importantly, we've got the War Doctor box set number 3. 3 stories in one box, just like last time. Now I know that collectively, if it was anybody else, we'd have 12 by now, but let's face it, 3 stories of the War Doctor is 3 more stories of the War Doctor is 3 more than we ever thought we'd get in the first place. And this story, this set, has got, well, 3 remarkably good stories, and of course, with it being a box set, they all fit together. You don't need to have bought the others. Seriously, you don't. If you're just interested in the War Doctor himself, this is a great place to start. I know it's box set 3 and you'll have bought box set 1 and 2 because, well, like me, you're a completist and you know what you like. Yes, this is something marvellous. As box sets go, I can't recommend this enough. Seriously, it's simply marvellous. Unlike, of course. However, unlike the McGann box set, I can talk a little bit more about what actually happens without giving away too many spoilers. Let's face it, there are Sontarans on the front of the second boxed set. I don't have to pretend that certain people aren't the villain or may not be. Well, you know the sort of thing, you know the pack drill. Here we've got something great. We've got something magical. Here we've got good old replacement number 9, the bus service that is John Hurt and his mate. You know what? I can't call her Servalan because she's not Servalan. Yes, she's got Servalan's voice. And possibly, let's, for sake of argument, that there was a time traveller and she visited an alternative universe and then she happened to regenerate in the vicinity of Commissioner Slayer from Blake 7, and then she ended up being a time lady who looked and sounded remarkably like, well, Jacqueline Pierce. That's what we've got here. Yes, she has the same evil, manipulative and self-serving goals as the President of the Galaxy, but no, it's not quite the same. Characterization, she's cleverer than Servalan ever was. She's more desperately fighting for survival than Servalan ever did. And she's slightly less willing to sacrifice absolutely everything to win. And yes, I'm saying that as a Blake 7 fan. Here we've got what Doctor Who does best. Small, compact stories. But, with it being audio, they get to be told on a much broader canvas. And that's the sort of thing that we always hear said about Big Finish. So let's go into more depth, shall we? The first story, set primarily on Earth. Yes, I know Earth's meant to be time-locked. And that, of course, represents part of the storyline. We've got the same actress who plays Madame Vastra as, well, an agent of the Daleks. And boy, oh boy, is she great. You can't hear a single lizard scale going on anywhere. It's just nice to have them around. While in the second story, we've got more members of the Paternoster gang in the form of, well, the sound of Mr. Starkey. These characters fit, they work. So yes, a throwaway line about the Sontarans wanting to take part in the Time War gets to become a massive, incredibly great story for the War Doctor to deal with. And of course, as always, when you finally look at the box, you discover that something this good was written by Andrew Smith. All three stories do fit together, but they are very much their own creatures. If a compliment or a complaint could be made, it would be about the third story. Remember Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS? That's what this one feels like. Only, like as has happened with so many big finishes, what you do is you sit there and go, right, I kind of could have enjoyed Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS more. This is how I would have done it. And then, of course, they've written it better. Yes, there's a lot of wandering around inside of a TARDIS, but then again, that's not just been done in Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS, that's been done in lots and lots of other stories. It's got more in common with, say, Logopolis than that particular tale. For me, the highlight is the Sontaran storyline, but that's only because it's so strong. The other two are quite brilliant indeed. It's just, I've got a soft spot for the potato heads and their need for war, and the fact that they're slightly cleverer than people give them credit for, which makes them even more dangerous. The third story is a great study in characterization, but of course the thing that needs to be mentioned is there's at least one scene per story where Nick Briggs is shouting at himself and going for it all guns. Oddly, the Time Controller Dalek is the most Nick Briggs sounding of all of the Daleks. He's more slimy. This is not to say that Nick Briggs is slimy, this is the performance. This Dalek is so much more master than he is Dalek. Yes, he's willing to sacrifice his people, but you can almost hear the sadness in his voice that he has to do this, because a pure Dalek is worth 1,000 of everyone else. The weapons that are employed are strokes of writing genius, spurious science employed just enough to make it sound scary. Yes, the reality might be very different, but that's beside the point. So is it good? Without question. Is it perhaps the highlight of audio-ness this year? I wouldn't go that far, but I wouldn't discount it at all. Let's face it, most Big Finish audios are judged by the scars that they leave upon us, the memories that keep popping back into our heads. Scenes that we've just skated over years ago come back and we go, oh yeah, that was great. So an immediate review merely says that it's brilliant. But whether this thing makes you come back and go, I must listen to that again, well, the War Doctor is very likely to be that. So, standout performances all round. Seriously, there's nothing weak going on here at all. It's just so bleak listening to a Doctor willing to employ weapons if he has to. Is it the Doctor? Always. Does he want to abandon all hope? Not yet, but he's getting there. I'd like to hear a story with the young War Doctor versus the old War Doctor taking himself on. And yes, there is one great conversation that takes place in this particular storyline where the Daleks are basically going, well, you started it. And as a listener and as a fan of Doctor Who, all you can do is go, yeah, you're right, they did start it. And so with that, I'll fade away and let you listen to some more fun things. And I'll return one day. One day, yes, I will return. No, forget that. I'll be back very soon, probably to talk about Doctor Who. So until then, be seeing you.
The War Doctor, Agents of Chaos.
Please help me!
What's going on here?
I need to get myself one of these.
Are you an ally of the Daleks? I most certainly am not.
Do you have any jurisdiction here?
Whatever she's told you, that device is not what you think.
There you are, Doctor.
Oh, Lystra, how did you find me?
Agent Zanis, this is the Time Strategist.
Beginning countdown. 10, 9.
If the Daleks have sent her to Earth, then I have to go there.
6.
And as I'm sure the Commander has already told you, the Isotron's existence is very much under wraps.
We call it the Shadow Vortex.
We have to get back to the TARDIS.
Fire all weapons. What is that? What have you done? What have you done?
They are coming.
Get down!
I'm overriding all my ship safety protocols to keep the two timelines contained in here.
Follow them.
They were in agony and reaching out.
What are you doing?
I am General Fisk, commander of the 8th Sontaran battle fleet, and you are my prisoner.
This is the woman who branded me a war criminal. You expect me to risk my life to get her back?
Halt! Identify yourself!
I am Colonel Vladimir Ilyinich Kaverin.
What's happening to me?
You will soon be a prisoner of the Daleks.
He began to regenerate.
The fleet is waiting. If we fail, the Time Lords will order a full attack.
If you initiate a time battle, Fask, you'll lose.
We shall see.
Target acquired! Exterminate!
Big Finish. We love stories.
They had their chance. And they left me no choice.
That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.